Hello everyone, my name is Payal Sen, Assistant Professor of Indraprastha Law College. Welcome you all to the Family Law 1 class. Our today's topic is Section 5 of Hindu Marriage Act 1955. There are 5 conditions for a valid Hindu marriage. A marriage may be solemnized between any two Hindus if the following conditions are fulfilled. So what are those 5 conditions? We will discuss about these 5 conditions in this video lecture. The number 1 point is monogamy. That is, neither party has a spouse living at the time of the marriage. Any of the party means the party to the marriage, that is the bridegroom and the bride. They should not have any living spouse which are priorly married, in which they are priorly married at the time of the marriage. That means we can say that bigamy and polygamy is strictly prohibited in Hindu law. Only monogamy is allowed. So for a valid marriage, one should do a monogamy, that is single marriage. Second point is, at the time of the marriage, neither party is incapable of giving a valid consent to it in consequence of unsoundness of mind. The person to the marriage, the party to the marriage, that is the bridegroom and the bride, should be a sane person. He should not has any unsoundness of mind. That is, he should be capable of giving a consent for the marriage. B. Though capable of giving a valid consent, has been suffering from mental disorder of such a kind or to such an extent as to be unfit for marriage and the procreation of child. Sometimes it happens that the party to the marriage is that much capable of giving a valid consent, but he is not capable of understanding the importance of marriage, the importance of relations, and also he is incapable of procreation of child. In that case, it is not valid. The person should be capable of procreation of child, as we know that the procreation of child is one of the major purpose for marriage. So that should be done. C. Has been subject to recurrent attacks of insanity. The person should not have any type of physical psychological disorder. That means idiocy or insanity or unsoundness of mind. These things should not happen, and maybe the insanity attacks of some for some times, not it is not permanent, but it is a temporary one, maybe only for 5 minutes per day. For the whole day it should not be there. Any type of recurrent attack should not be there. So we can in one line we can say that the party to the marriage should be of sane mind. He should not be insane. And the third point is, the bridegroom has completed the age of 21 years and the bride the age of 18 years at the time of the marriage. That means the age bar is, for bridegroom it is 21 and for bride it is 18. And this rule is added or inserted after the amendment of 1976. Before 1976, the age bar was, for the bridegroom it was 18 years and for the bride it was for 15 years. So this is changed now. The fourth point is, the parties are not within the degrees of prohibited relationships unless the custom or usage governing each of them permits of a marriage between the two. So we can say that I will discuss about what are the prohibited relationships, what type of relationships come under it. We will discuss about this, but now we can say one thing, that the party should not be within some degrees of relationships, that is the blood relationships and the ascendant and linear descendant. Okay, this is prohibited under the Hindu law. And if any person marries a person which is within the prohibited relations, degrees of prohibited relationships, this marriage will be considered as void marriage. And the last one is the Sapinda marriage, Sapinda relationship. The parties are not Sapindas of each other unless the custom or usage governing each of them permits of a marriage between the two. That means the parties to the marriage should not be within the Sapinda relationship. Sapinda means by the blood or by through the blood. The Sapinda word has come from the word pind. Pind means the two type of meanings are there. Some people tells that pinda means the offerings we offer for our deceased ancestors, and for some it sapinda means through the blood. So we can just summarize this meaning. Sapinda relationships means the relationships by blood. So according to Hindu law, the parties should not be within the Sapinda relationships. They should not be of Sapinda of each other. So the last two provisions, that is the degrees of prohibited relationships and Sapindas, these can be allowed if the custom or usage allows them, because we know that the family law is a customary law. The Hindu law, the Muslim law, these are the customary law. That means customs and usages, practices are given values. So we can now tell that according to the act, if any person's custom or usage or practice allows them to do marriage within the prohibited relationships and sapindas, they can do, but they have to prove that this is their customs. Okay, so I have made a video for the customs, what are the customs and what are the valid points to prove a valid customs. I will discuss this in this in a separate video. And this is all about section 5, the 5 conditions of a valid marriage. I think that you have understood. If you have any query, please write in the comment box. I will surely answer your queries. Thank you. I hope you have enjoyed the video.